Welcome to this video. This is one of the most important video lecture for you people because you'll be talking about function, and function in C has lot of implementations. Okay, and you should understand first why we require the function. Okay, so typically what we are doing right now is writing very small program, but when you will be moving into an IT industry, or maybe you may be starting up your own startup, or you are trying to solve some bigger problem. When the problem become big and complex, okay, the size of the code will be increase, okay, and it will become very bulky, right? So typically a set of tasks, okay, maybe repeatedly maybe required in order to to fulfill the requirement of the particular software itself. For example, I will give you, right? Say for example, I may require to find a prime number. I may require to find a factorial of a number. I'm just giving you the example with the level with which we have understood C till now, right? Okay, I'm not going to a deeper part of the software development and all these things, right? Now I write a code for simple, because till now I have written a simple code for factorial, simple call for prime number. Now again, repeatedly in the various part of the program, I may require that I have to find a prime number, I have to do a factorial. So what I can do is that I can create this into a particular function, okay? Because my task, this particular group of statement or instruction through which, or logic through which I am developing the prime number, I'm developing the factorial, I can group together and I can bundle up in a concept called as function itself, right? Yes, and that will going to help me because I can easily call the function. Now, we have already used certain function, right? Say for example, POW, right? Okay, which is already defined inside the in the library itself. These are called as the library function. What we will be talking today in this particular session will be the function that a developer or a programmer will going to do, which is also called as a the user defined function, right? So having said this, so function, when I'm talking about it's a block of statement for accomplishing a particular task or objective. So I was telling you, so a last program, okay, we have it, so we can broken down into certain blocks, okay, and this one, the block can be something like a function. Now this function itself is also known as procedure or subroutine in a certain other programming language itself, right? Okay, so now, having said this, this function is nothing but a group of statements for accomplishing a particular task or objective. Now, our question will come, okay, how I can represent this function in C, right? What could be typically the syntax is, okay, and how does it particular work? Already, you see, we have used the main function, all of us, because every C program has to start with a function, which is the main function, right? So we have seen that, right? And even when you see that we have written in main and we are writing return 0, that means this function is returning certain value also, right? So having said this, and a function has a name, that is the main, right? Okay, so having said this, the aspects of a function, when you talk about the function, we have a function declaration, okay, we have a function call, we have a function definition. Now what are this, what are the function declaration, what is function call, and what is function definition itself? When we talk about declaring, we are telling that this is how my function should look like. This is my name, right? These are the certain data, or these are the certain values that I, and what type of values I will be sending into that particular function itself, okay? And my function will be returning certain type of data, right? As I was telling in the main function, I was writing in, so it's returning an integer value, right? So function declaration will typically tell the compiler the name of the function, okay, and the group of values of the data type that I've sent, which is called as nothing the parameters, or we also call as nothing, will call as an argument also, right? And what will going to return type. Okay. Now, what is function call? Now, as I was telling, right, I have bundled this group of statement for a particular objective, like prime number, right? So I need to find the prime number. So I have bundled it into function. So I have to tell the compiler, okay, just call the prime number function itself, and that is what is called as a function call. So anywhere in the program, okay, I just will call the function. Now the question comes in the mind, if I'm sending certain values, so I have to mention the value also during the function call also, right? Even if you see down the line, it is not only the value. Okay, we can pass some kind of addresses also, which is called as a reference. Okay, I will not going to confuse right now in this particular session, because the subsequent session will talk about it. So understand that we'll send in some kind of values which are we call as a parameter. So if there is in the definition, in the declaration, we are saying that these are the parameters, then in the function call, we have to give the parameter list also. And then function definition is nothing but the actual logic, okay, in order to achieve that objective. So I'm talking about a prime number, so or the factorial. So the logic of the factorial will be there in that particular definition. Yes. Okay. So having said it, I hope you have understood. So what we are talking about function declaration. Okay. We are telling the compiler, yeah, this is the name, right? This is the parameters, this is the return types. Okay, function call, yeah, we are telling that is please go to that function, execute that function. Okay, and these are the parameters if it is there. Okay, and when it is will go into the execution part, which is called as a function definition. Okay, you will have the entire logic through which we can find the which we can achieve that particular task or objective itself. Okay, so now let us see the syntax when you are talking in the C, right? So we have a function name. Okay, we have list of parameters and a return term followed by a semicolon. So if I write like this in factorial, so factorial is my name of the function. Okay, in is my return type. Okay, and the open bracket, close bracket, nothing is there, so we say there is no parameter itself. Okay, and simply if I write the function name followed by a closing bracket, okay, right, or then we call it that calling the function factorial. Now if I write here in factorial, again here in n, okay, that means I am passing one parameter. And what kind of parameter I'm passing? I'm passing what you say, n is one type of variable of type 1 in. Okay, so now here if I have factorial 5, okay, this 5 is nothing but a data type I'm passing it, right? Okay, because we already mentioned in the declaration that in and I am passing, and here I'm talking about the values. Okay, so having said this, this is what the syntax of it. So we have a function name, we have the list of parameters. Okay, and it, before the function name itself, we have to write the return type and what type, whether the int, float, character, pointer, whatever it is, right? Okay, and function call, simply the name of the function, and if any the parameter value that we need to pass, we will be entering that. Okay, so now right comes to the function definition itself. So return type, function name, and parameter. See, it is this is same as the declaration, only you don't have the semicolon at the end, right? If you see back here, it is this with followed semicolon, but the first line in definition without a semicolon. And inside this, we have the declaration, we have the executable statement and return statement required if any return type. So we may have a function without a return type. Yes, we may have a function with a return type, and we don't require this return statement, right? So let us see this one example of function of factorial. Okay, so I in factorial, okay, open bracket, close bracket, okay, and then you can see the factorial logic. All of us know, right? If you want to find a factorial, in fact, I, okay, I equal to 0, sorry, I less than 5, I plus plus, okay, so this should be capital. Fact equal to fact into I, right? So now this is declaration. See, in fact and I, this is declaration. So I was telling certain declaration will be there in the inside the function definition. Then this is the logic that we are talking about, or this is the executable statement. So for I equal to 0, I less than 5, I plus plus, fact equal to fact of type. So I find a factorial for 5, okay, and then I'm returning this fact. When I say returning, it will go back to from where I'm calling this. So if I'm calling the function from the main, so it will go back to the main itself, right? Okay. So we'll see there a nested function call itself also. You can call a function inside a function also, right? So having said this, I will not going to again, I was telling you not to confuse it. So a simple function, yes, a factorial. Okay, we know the logic for the factorial, so we have written it. So we have a declaration, we have an executable statement, we have a return statement. Return statement if we have the return type. If we are returning, if the function is returning something, then we have the return statement. Okay, so the whole program, see here, int factorial. Okay, I have missed out the semicolon. There will be a semicolon out here. So this is function declaration. So in main factorials, this is the function call. So I'm giving, this is the function call. Okay, right. Now let us come to the definition part in factorial. So in fact, so this is the part of the declaration I was talking about. This is the executable statement, and this is the return statement, and the whole is the function definition, right? Okay, so this is how we are doing the function declaration. This is how we are doing the function call, and we have the function definition itself. Okay, right? So types of function, I already told you that whatever we are discussing here, it is the user defined, function created by the developer or programmer, like factorial, palindrome, and all. So already it is there in the library declared in, in C with some kind of header file like scanf printf. For that we have to put hash include stdio.h. For POW we have to do the header file mat.h, right? So if somebody asks you what is the function and what is the type of function, right? So we can say that function is what is a group of statements in order to fulfill a particular task or objective. Okay, and then the aspects is the declaration. Okay, function call, definition itself. Types of function, we are talking about library function, we are talking about the user defined function. Okay, so we are clear with this, right? So now in the subsequent, next what is the session, I will be talking about different ways in which we can create the functions. Okay, so like as I was telling you, you may have a function with no return type, okay, and no parameters has been done. Okay, we can have a function with only return type, no parameter, as you can see in this in factorial, right? We can have a function with only our parameters, no return type. We can have a function with return type and also with parameters. So all this we're going to see in the subsequent video itself. Okay, right now you have to understand what is a function, why we need the function. Okay, yes, and the aspect of function in the function, how to declare a function, how to call a function, and how to write the definition of the function, right? So again, I'm going back to the old program itself. So this is how I'm declaring a function. It is a function name. Okay, it is a return type and a set of parameters. Where we are here, we have not giving any set of parameters here. Okay, and simply I'm writing the function. This is the function call. If I had certain parameters, then I also have to mention this, okay, here. And I told you that this can be, I can give some values, I can pass some address, and based on that we call it the call by value and call by reference. Also we'll see in the subsequent videos also, right? And this is the function definition itself. So we have the name of the function, okay, the return type, and if you have any parameters are there, right? And then this is the declaration inside the function. These are actually called as the local variables, fact and I, inside the function, in the function itself. Okay, again, we'll talk about local variable and global variable in one of the of the video itself. Okay, and this is the logic for in order to find the factorial. Okay, yes, and then we are returning the fact, right? And the whole thing is the function definition, right? So I hope you have understood the function, and I'm sure, right, it is like you are able to understand, but we need some kind of practice to it. Okay, and until and unless you work on write the programs or the function itself, it has become very difficult to really uh, understand and take it forward. Okay, but I hope now you have got a little bit of clear picture what is function. So in the subsequent video, when you talk about more of these particular types, okay, it will be more clear. But one thing I like to suggest to you, that please try to do as much of programs in function, because this is very important. You need a lot of practice, and typically in the interview, you will be asked in order to write a program, and may say that you try to do it with in a function itself, maybe in a call by value, call by reference, that was talking about. Okay, so thank you so much for watching the video, and I hope you have liked the video. If you like the video, please share with your friends and also tell them to subscribe. Thank you so much.